On the Road with Kelly and Bob is brought to you by Mueller Metal Roofs and Buildings. Made in America, made to last. Coming up on this episode...
We are a dying breed, it feels like, but at the same time, I also feel like a lot of people are kind of starting to come back around. And it's like, oh, we need music. We need to keep music in our day-to-day life and in the communities. And
Hi, we're Kelly
and Bob Phillips, and we're on the perpetual road trip of America's back roads,
where the journey is always the destination.
Thanks for joining us for this edition of On the Road with Kelly and Bob. Today we're in northern Indiana at a little town that's kind of west and somewhat south of Detroit, Michigan, and pretty much due east of Chicago, Illinois, called Shipshewana.
Don't you just love saying that name?
Yeah.
Shipshewana. We made the trip to Shipshewana to sit down with Jennifer Lipscomb, the proprietor of a store here, but that never happened. That's because Jennifer is pretty much a one-woman shop who rarely gets time to sit down. So we stood at the sales counter and talked in between Jennifer waiting on customers.
Tell us about Shipshewana. What type of town is this? Who lives here?
it is one of the largest Amish populations in the U.S. We do have our locals. We do get a lot of tourism as well, just because of the type of area that it is. Like our downtown area, there's all different kinds of little mom and pop stores. We do have a flea market during the summertime, especially like around Christmas. There's always something going on. Town is absolutely beautiful during Christmas time. Town as a whole has grown, and I honestly think it's been good for us though. It's continuing to grow and change, but it's still keeping that nice, peaceful, quaint style. It's still a easy, relaxed pace here.
Do people know one another? Do you know your neighbors here?
Definitely. Everybody knows everybody, and like wave, like, oh hey, I know you own the shop down the street from me, or a lot of like family-owned stores.
Jennifer Lipscomb isn't from Shipshewana, but these days it would be difficult to get her to leave this place.
I actually grew up in Memphis, Tennessee, so we went big city to smaller town Indiana, which was a bit of a shock at first, but it's been nice. It's a good area. It's nice and quiet and quaint and not the big hustle and bustle of big city life.
That's because this town is home to lots of unique stores. One of them being this little store where Jennifer has worked since she was in high school. She asked for a job and pretty much wouldn't leave until they said yes. Now she owns the place.
I got a job here during high school and been here ever since.
I understand you came and asked them for an internship. Is that how this worked, or what?
I kind of annoyed them about a job, yeah. the previous owners. It's like, I really want to work here, and bugged them. They gave me a chance, and I'm still here almost 20 years later. It's been quite a while.
Why did you want an internship here so badly?
I love music. I was in band, and my whole background is percussion. Starting here was actually my first experience with stringed instruments. A little bit of a learning curve, but it was still music, so I was still happy and involved with music, and it kept me involved.
What do you have here at Simple Sounds?
Yes, we carry ukuleles, we carry dulcimers. That's originally, when this store first started, we were a dulcimer shop. It's all folk and bluegrass oriented. So we have the mountain dulcimers, we have the hammer dulcimers, banjos, mandolins, guitars, everything like that. We've got tons of sheet music for piano and harmonica and ukulele, guitar, any of the instruments. We've got wind chimes, we've got gifty items for presents, and we still carry CDs actually, which are getting harder and harder to find, but we still have them.
CDs. Now, what do you play those on?
Supposedly it's called a CD player.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The store is called Simple Sounds. They have, wind chimes, piano, harmonica, CDs, sheet music, everything you could want in an old-fashioned music store. But make no mistake, it was the sounds of the dulcimer that lured that 17-year-old girl to this shop. Tell us about dulcimers. What do you know about their history?
As far as like the mountain dulcimers, those are more, you'll see them traditional like Appalachian. They originally came over, they are made to mimic bagpipes originally.
Bagpipes?
Mm-hmm. You'll have your melody strings, and then you have a middle string and your bass string, and those traditionally played, they act more like drones, like the droning sound that you would have like with bagpipes. That you can get that if you play traditionally playing just the melody to it, or anymore you can also, there's chord patterns, so you think a lot of like piano players, like your right hand is melody, your left hand is chord. This is your chord and your melody all combined into one, so it's a little fuller sounding. And they're fun. They're pretty spectacular. They're my favorite.
What about the hammer dulcimer? What can you tell us about that and its history?
Worldwide, there are several different styles of them, not always necessarily called a hammer dulcimer, but you can see them in the Middle East, you can see them in traditional, like, Oriental music. There are types of dulcimers, what we call a dulcimer. There are types of instruments like that. They'll have different, as far as like their tuning will be a little bit different, how they're set up with their scales and everything. My dad is quite musical. My mother, I love her, but not so much. She's our number one fan. So she sits and enjoys. I actually got my first instrument when I was 2. My grandpa bought me a little drum, much to my mother's dismay, because a 2-year-old with a drum, of course, will
That's
make a lot
loud.
of noise. But you never know where it's going to lead. That's why it's so important to get children started when they're young, because I ended up playing percussion. It's what I started in band in middle school. I played all the way through high school, marching and concert and jazz band. It was what I was involved with. It literally has been my life, playing music.
There's a kinship among you musicians.
Absolutely, yes. I think sometimes we're a little kooky of a bunch, but we kind of have our own language. We all speak it with music. It changes how you think, honestly. If your music really is another language. It changes how you approach things and how you interact with people, especially with band members. Some of the shenanigans during band, but it's good. It's never riffraff or rowdy or anything like that. It's you're there to have fun and play music and enjoy it.
Jennifer Lipscomb knew early in life that her life would revolve around music in some way. And today, in her mid-30s, that dream has come true. She runs this store and all that goes with it, including repairing instruments right there on the countertop in between seeing the needs of her customers.
For her, it's a fairy tale world. A world she thinks is, pretty close to perfect. Does music bring peace to you?
I think so. I can go sit out on the porch in the evenings. I can take my dulcimer out or ukulele outside. Sit on the porch and I play for the cows out in the pasture.
What do the cows do?
Right now they're just lawn ornaments. They wander about the pasture and look cute.
But
They've never responded to the music exactly.
I think so, because they'll stand at the fence and they'll listen for a while, and eventually they'll wander off and do cow things.
How long do you think you'll do this?
As long as I can. As long as we're here.
Why is that?
I really don't, I can't see myself doing anything else. This is what I've been doing, this is what I know, and this is my happy place.
Well, as usually is the case, our conversation with Jennifer went on for a while and yielded some interesting thoughts and comments. Let's listen.
When you think of Memphis, where you're originally from, you automatically think music.
Yeah, we had more the blues and
Yeah,
and
but
that type. But here's
Shipshewana, Indiana.
folk and bluegrass. Little different, a little more down home, if you will.
So are you a folk and bluegrass, player yourself?
Yep. Anymore, mostly I play mountain dulcimer. I kind of set aside the percussion background. It's not quite as applicable here, but the mountain dulcimer works pretty well.
Do you also play hammered dulcimer?
I have one at home. Admittedly, I don't practice enough, and I probably should practice more. But I'm here all the time, so we do work on them. Everything from just like a basic restringing, or if there's cracks or parts that need to be fixed or replaced, we can do all that. We like to see them actually playing and not sitting in the corner of a basement or closet.
Do you do the work yourself?
Yep, we do. It doesn't leave the store. Everything stays here on our counter. We work on it when it's nice and quiet in here, and we get it done.
Are there many places left like this one?
No, unfortunately, we are a dying breed. It feels like, but at the same time, I also feel like a lot of people are kind of starting to come back around, and it's like, oh, we need music. We need to keep music in our day-to-day life and in the communities, and I think we'll be okay. It's sad to see that some stores have closed, but
Why do you think that is? I think we still love music as much as we always have.
I think we do. I think some of it comes down to the practice. I think a lot of times it's you want the instant gratification and not always willing to sit down and put a little patience and practice into learning something new, but it's worth it. It really is. Especially like we see a lot of people come in and, oh, I want to get something for my grandchild or my son or daughter, or have a birthday, they want to learn. Encourage kids, especially younger kids. It's so worth encouraging them to start learning at a young age, because that's something they can carry through until they're 80, 90 years old. You'll have music with you your entire life.
What is it about music that draws everyone together?
It's something that you can connect with people all over the world. It's a good interaction wherever you're from.
A universal language.
Yes, absolutely.
You drive 2 hours every day to come to your shop here in Shipshewana.
I do, yes.
Why?
I got married, and so my husband's family property is up north in Michigan, and it's worth it to me. We have the family property, but the store is also kind of my life, and I've been here almost 20 years, so I'd like to stay.
What does it mean to you?
It's everything. It really is. I've spent so much time here. I really can't imagine doing anything other than this.
You started as an apprentice. Now you're the owner. How does that happen?
Lots of hard work, lots of time and patience, and the previous owners that I worked for, absolutely some of the best people I've ever met in my life. They kind of ended up being a second set of parents to me over time. And so when they decided to retire, I was like, hey, if you're interested, I'm really interested in buying the store, and we made it work.
What did they think about what you've done with the place?
So far, so good. I haven't been told that I'm doing something wrong. So
So do you run this place by yourself?
pretty much, my mother will come in like on Saturdays when she's got the day off. She'll come in and help me a little bit, just because it's crazy busy on Saturdays. But other than that, I'm here 6 days a week.
What about things like instrument repairs?
Pick quiet time when there's nobody
do
in here
that
and work
too?
on it. Yes. So this is actually one of the repairs that I'm working on right now. It's a banjo ukulele. So
Banjo, ukulele,
yes,
combined.
combined. Yep, literally 50-50. It's tuned and played like a ukulele. Looks like a banjo. It's got the banjo head on it. It was literally in pieces when it came into me.
Can you
So
strum it and just show us what it sounds like?
it's going to sound very out of tune right now. I know that.
Okay,
Definitely out of
It
tune.
does have
but-
a ukulele
Yeah.
sound, but still the resonance of the banjo.
Yep. So we put a new head on it, a new bridge, strings, cleaned it up some. No professional level, but at least an enjoyable level, I think. right like that.
You make it look so easy.
Little patience, little practice. But
How long have you been playing this instrument?
I picked it up when I started working here. That was the first time I had ever touched one. Within probably the first couple weeks-ish, give or take, I was like, oh, this is cool. I like this. I want one. And now I have I have 8 of them now.
Why do you need 8 different dulcimers?
A couple different sizes of them, different woods will give you different sounds. And a couple of them I liked because they were pretty and they sounded nice. And I said, hey, honey, look what I got. And he goes, oh, another instrument.
Do you have instruments all over your house?
We have a nice collection at home.
But this is more than a hobby to you.
Honestly, yeah, it is. This is the reason for me to exist. Music is part of my soul.
It's in your DNA, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
And we want to thank you again for joining us this week for On the Road with Kelly and Bob. And don't forget, you can listen anywhere you get your podcast, or better yet, just download that free Odyssey app and listen anytime, anywhere.